From 1996 to the present day, the talk show host has been married to Mark. During a recent interview, Kelly Ripa admitted that she could not. After being married for 28 years and having 3 children together, she found the intimate behavior of her husband, Mark Consuelos, to be quite revolting. During an episode of the podcast titled Not Skinny But Not Fat, the television personality discussed their family life. She revealed that although her spouse wants to have intimate encounters first thing in the morning, she is not impressed by this behavior. In spite of the fact that I am not familiar with your marital situation, I am going to get personal. Are you someone who is more of a morning person or a night person? The host, Amanda Hears, was challenged by Kelly. She replied that it was most certainly not Dawn. When you wake up, you should avoid breathing on me. Despite the fact that males are morning people, the woman, who was 54 years old, mentioned that her husband would never find out that she loves spending time with him at night. There is a retainer in place. She said, I have to rip that out immediately. In addition to that, he is wearing nasal strips. In a way, it seems as though we are the most revolting individuals. She went on to say that in 2023, when Mark became a co-host of the show Live with Kelly and Mark, he had to adjust his routines in order to accommodate the expanded responsibilities of his new role. I told him, here's the thing, and he replied, in this situation, there must be both a yang and an yin. Everything's impossible for everything to always be your way, because it seems like you get your way 90% of the time. To add insult to injury, given that we now work together on a daily basis, it is going to be necessary for me to occasionally do things my way, and only at night. Kelly said to herself, the greatest thing about this job, this thing has almost repulsed him from morning time during the work week, which is like a miracle, she said with laughter. Following her discussion of the matter, the stunning blonde disclosed that she had already begun to feel apprehensive about the dawn of the following day. The woman, who is a mother of 3, noted that when a couple is busy with raising a family and working, intimacy is typically the last thing that they focus on in their relationship. She also mentioned that it was essential to reestablish your connection once more. She explained that considering that you are exhausted, that your children are small, that you are working full-time, and that you have a lot on your plate, it is easy for you to let things fall by the wayside. The first time Mark and Kelly met was in 1995, when they were both working on the set of All My Children. 5 years later, they eloped in Las Vegas. They are the proud parents of 3 children: Michael, who is 28 years old, Lola, who is 24 years old, and Wim, who is 22 years old. They have been open about their relationship for a decade on multiple occasions. In addition, the talk show presenter opened up the discussion of plastic surgery on the podcast by saying that she had never committed to getting a breast augmentation despite having many consultations throughout the course of her life. You are aware that I have a flat chest. No longer is it a mystery at this point in time. Kelly chuckled and said, it's almost like a point of pride. She continued by saying, I've gone to more breast augmentation consults than I would like to admit. She went on to say that whenever she spoke to a surgeon, the algorithm on her phone would display her horror stories of women who had undergone the treatment. According to what she said, it just about talks me out of it. Through the explanation that she would have to have the treatment once more every 10 years, which would not be feasible in approximately 10 years, the author ultimately came to the conclusion that she would not go through with the procedure. After over 3 decades of marriage, innumerable appearances on the red carpet, and a flourishing television relationship, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have earned their spot as one of the most beloved and most frank power couples in the world of daytime television. On the other hand, beneath the polished on-air relationship, there is no shortage of banter between the two that is entirely honest and brutal. Even when it comes to her husband's awful morning ritual, Kelly demonstrated once again that there is no subject that is off limits, as she demonstrated in a recent podcast appearance that left listeners speechless. During her appearance on the popular podcast Not Slim But Not Fat, which is hosted by Amanda Hears, Kelly did not hold back as she discussed their home life, her difficulties with the time of their intimate relationships, her opinions on plastic surgery, and how managing job and marriage has become a miraculous test of compromise. The confessions that Ripa made were both refreshingly genuine and unexpectedly humorous. These revelations ranged from nasal strips and midnight retainers to her stark honesty about her dwindling passion in the midst of parenting weariness. The host of Live with Kelly and Mark was quick to warn listeners that even the most stable marriages are subject to daily arguments and occasional revulsion. This is despite the fact that Kelly and Mark may appear to be the ideal couple on screen. The most contentious issue is the timing of the event. Kelly told Hears, "I don't know about you and your marriage, but I'm going to go personal." Hears was surprised in this statement. Is it more your nature to be a morning person or an evening person? There was no hesitation on Amanda's part. Not even close to being morning. Avoid breathing on me first thing in the morning. Kelly chuckled with a knowing smile. In that very moment, she responded, before going on to reveal her own personal relationship confession. Morning people are typically men. Mark is someone who is a morning person. Never in his life will he discover that I am not. Currently, he is wearing his nasal strips. My retainer is now in place. The thing is horrible. Due to the fact that their early morning states are the most hideous and disgusting people, Ripa has stated that she has been forced to establish a strict limit. When it comes to engaging in physical contact, the morning is definitely off limits. Her joke was that she was eagerly anticipating the morning of the following day. When Consuelos officially joined Ripa as a co-host of Live in 2023, he took over for Ryan Series, and this was the moment when everything came to a head. A marriage and a morning talk show that they both hosted turned their partnership into a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week endeavor, and Kelly came to the realization that something had to give. On the other hand, I told him, here's the thing. In this situation, there must be both and a yang. Her recollection was that things could not always go your way, due to the fact that it seems like you are right 90% of the time. As a result of the fact that we now work together on a daily basis, it is going to be necessary for me to occasionally do things my way and just at night. According to her, the compromise that was brought about ended up being a blessing in disguise. Kelly joked that the most remarkable aspect of this job is that it has nearly completely dissuaded him from doing anything that may need him to be awake in the morning during the work week. This is truly a miracle. Ripa also spoke openly about the genuine difficulty of maintaining intimacy after years of having children and managing occupations. While the debate about whether to do it in the morning or at night brought humor, Ripa also spoke about such challenges. Family has always been important to the pair, who have 3 children together: Michael, who is 28 years old, Lola, who is 24 years old, and Wen, who is 22 years old. However, during this process, as is the case with many long-term relationships, romance was sometimes put on the back burner. The fact that you are weary, that your children are young, that you are working full-time, and that you have a lot on your plate are all factors that might easily cause you to neglect such things, she explained. But at some point in time,